Please start now.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Garima Singh, moderator for today's session. And I now welcome Dr. Sneha Rajput, ma'am, who would be the resource person for this session. And she was born in India and currently employed as an associate professor, head marketing department by Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Gwalior. And she has a research emphasis on international marketing, retail management, behavioral finance. And she has papers that are indexed in Scopus from ABDC, ABC category, Q1, Q2, ABS Sciences, Emerald, Aloysius, Routledge. And there are many case studies written by her, which are published in Taylor and Francis in series like Social and Sustainable Marketing, a case book for reaching your socially responsible consumers through marketing science, Routledge, Aloysius. And she has till now edited 8 books and published under national and international publishers. She has also chaired many international conferences, judged international competitions like Hearst Prize, organized by United Nations. And she has been invited to various resource institutions for research software training. And she has been received doctorate from Jivaji Institute in 2015. And she is also a MOOC content writer for ePathshala, an online learning website for MHRD, and also a resource person for PhD coursework for management and tourism socialization. Further, an appointed member for the Board of Studies in Management by University Gwalior and Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior. And she was also awarded the Best Paper Presentation in 2015, 16, and 19, and also received Research Excellence Award in 2024, conferred by Madhav Vidya Mahavidyalaya Gwalior. So with this, ma'am, you have achieved a lot of competency and lot of award and achievements. So with this, now I welcome you all on Dr. Sneha Rajput, ma'am. Ma'am, I think your mic is off.
Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do I have the screen sharing rights?
Ma'am, there is some echo sound. Can you just, anyone?
Yeah, there is echo, ma'am. You have to use. You have to keep one device off. I mean, audio. You have to keep one device audio off.
One second.
I think this mic is not working. I think it is connected with your Bluetooth. Voice is not coming.
So all these systems are, I've checked. So one second.
Your voice is coming, but there is echo.
So now?
Ma'am, have you logged in from 2 devices or twice? Because there might be echo due to that.
Now can you hear me one?
Now, yes, it is perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect now.
All right. Thank you so much, Garima ma'am. Thank you so much, Vidas sir, for that wonderful introduction. I will share my screen without wasting any time. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is it on the presentation mode visible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So good afternoon, one and all. Today I'm going to start with a session on a handshake with Smart PLS. Uh, before I start with the session, I will request everybody, because I know there are many faculties those who are already aware about Smart PLS. So let us make all the beginners very comfortable, because I'll be teaching the basic concepts of Smart PLS. So I'll start from the scratch. So before we move towards the actual PLS system, how the software works, we should know various concepts related to PLS, various important things that we should keep in mind before applying a PLS model. So first, in this session, I would be covering about the reflective and formative models. Then I will be moving towards the zero order, first order, and what are the second order models. Then, of course, everyone is aware about exogenous and endogenous, as well as mediating and moderating variables. I will be briefing about exogenous and endogenous variables for the better understanding of PLS. Then we should know what is a measurement model and what is a structural model, what are the inner models, what are the outer models. Then it is also important for us to know what are the outer loads and what are the outer weights. A very critical question that every researcher asks is whether to apply MOS or whether to go for PLS. And then finally, we will move on to the hands-on PLS.
Veenu ma'am, please mute yourself. Veenu Madan.
So you are muted. Ma'am, you are muted now because I have, I muted everyone because they were, doing disturbance.
Okay,
You have to
I'll
unmute yourself.
yes,
And
yes, I'll
ma'am, sorry for inconvenience. You can increase the voice of your, device. Your voice is coming a bit, less. Try
less.
to increase the volume. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Am I audible now clearly to everybody? Fidos sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Better than before. Yes, ma'am.
Better than before. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So first, let me start with the formative and reflective models. Why I'm starting with the formative and reflective models, because it is very important for us to know that the pattern of applying PLS will change the moment the model patterns changes. So first, let us know what are the formative models and what are the reflective models. Starting with the formative model, as you can see on the screen, that the measured indicator variables are causing the construct. That means all the statements are coming together and forming one construct. Construct and variables are the same thing, and indicators and the statements I will be using interchangeably. So that is also formative theory. So when the statements are forming a construct, that becomes a formative model. Whereas when you see the reflective model on the screen, you will see that the construct causes the measured indicator variables. That means the statements that you can see on the screen, that is CSR1, CSR2, that are coming out of the construct. That means you can see a reflection kind of a thing, like there is a sun which is reflecting certain rays. So from this concept, you can remember what is a reflective model. The moment your formative model or the reflective model selection changes, then the application of PLS also changes. So this is important for you to remember whether your model is formative or reflective. And it is important for you to know also. Now, it is really difficult to know when your model is a reflective model or when your model is a formative model. So there are three basic thumb rules that you can use to know whether your model is a reflective one or formative one. You can take the help of review of literature for better understanding. Generally, what we do is we take the help of review of literature, then understanding based on your maturity level or understanding based on the subject matter. So this will also help you to understand whether the model is reflective or formative. If both the concepts are not working for you, please go ahead with the confirmatory tetrad analysis. Confirmatory tetrad analysis will help you. It is a statistical tool which will help you to know whether the model is reflective or formative. So in the coming slides, I will be also talking about how to apply confirmatory tetrad analysis. Right. As I said, I will be also talking about the type of model that we're going to apply. As you can see on the screen, I have mentioned zero order, first order, and second order model. So first, we are going to talk about what is a zero order model. Now, on the screen, you can see only there is just one construct with four statements. This is E word of mouth. It is having just four statement, E1, E2, E3, and E4. And there is no other variable on the screen that you can see. So that means when there is just one variable with its statement, we call this model as a zero order model. Now, what is a first order model? Now, the complication level will keep on increasing the moment we keep on adding the orders, right? So now on the screen, you can see that there are 5 different constructs. These blue circles that you see are known as constructs. I will be teaching you in the when I go for the practical, I will take you to the hands-on experience. Then I will be talking about how to create such kind of model on PLS, because it is a basic PLS session. So let us see. Now here on the screen, you can see 5 different constructs, that is financial incentive, career growth, work climate, perceived work quality, and interpersonal relationship. So these 5 constructs are independently known as zero order, but when they are connected to a dependent variable, for example, other 4 are connected with perceived work quality. So when we have independent relationship with a dependent one, then we call this as a first order model. Then further moving to the second order models, again, you will have the extension of the previous model. That means it is just the extension of the first order model where your dependent is connected to other variables for the relationship. That means your dependent becomes independent, and further it is affecting some other dependent variable. So as I said, the levels of complication will go ahead, it will rise as we go for the more order models. So this is what zero order, first order, and second order model. So I hope till here it is clear to everybody. Now, so again, the next very important concept for applying PLS is we should know what are exogenous variables and what are endogenous variables. I will not I will not be using very complicated terms here. So just for the better and simpler understanding, understand that exogenous models are independent variables similar to independent variables, and endogenous variables are similar to dependent variables. So here in this diagram, you can see word of mouth is independent, social media influence is independent, and buying intention is a dependent variable. As the next session that you have on mediation and moderation, so I know that the next session will be covering about mediating and moderation of the variables, but I will be just briefing you about what are the mediating variables here. As you can see, there is a variable in between. The relationship between e-recommendation and buying intention has a variable in between, and that is trust. So when the relationship is affected via a variable, that means e-recommendation is affecting buying intention, but via trust, right? So this becomes a mediating variable. The very simple concept of mediating variable is it is present inside the model. And then we go with the moderation. Moderation, again, there is an extra variable, but that remains outside the model. Like again, you have trust as a moderating variable here. It is not via, it is through, like website attribute is affecting the buying intention, but in the presence of trust. So I hope there is a minor difference between mediation and moderation, but conceptually there is a huge difference between mediating variables and moderating variables. Now, this is a combined model. This is the beauty of PLS, wherein you can have all kinds of variables together and you can make very complicated models. I will be talking about what are the advantages of PLS over other softwares. So because when you write a research paper, you should always mention that why we have chosen a specific software or why we are choosing a particular methodology. So there we must mention that why I have chosen Smart PLS over other softwares like Lizrel or Emos. So in the coming slides, in the coming presentation, I will be also talking about what are the benefits that a PLS software offers over Emos model. Yeah, over other similar like softwares. So on the current screen, you can see right now that the model is the combination of various exogenous, various mediating constructs, then endogenous and moderating variables as well. So this combined model have got all 4 kind of variables. Right. Now, A very common question that comes to everybody's mind, that in number of papers we find the statistics of measurement model and then the statistics of structural model and how they are different, right? So measurement model is talking about the evaluation of the scale. I have mentioned in the footnote also. I will be sharing these slides with the organizing team. So you can see here that the measurement model is all about the scale. Scale, I hope you understand that scale is a questionnaire, is a tool on which the data has been collected on a certain point. For example, Likert type scale or any kind of scale that you're using for the collection of data. So the measurement model is majorly talking about the scale, its reliability, and its validity, right? So here, E1, E2, E3, E4, when we are going to evaluate the values for these indicators, they are again the statements. They will be known, the entire statistics will be known as measurement model, or the measurement will be known as measurement model, right? But when we evaluate the relationship of two variables, for example, here I'm going to evaluate the relationship of two variables, that is the impact of e-word of mouth over buying intention, or the impact of social media over buying intention. So in this case, the particular model will be known as structural model, and same we call as inner model, and measurement model is also known as outer model. Just for the sake of repetition, I have not added any extra slide for outer model or the inner model. So structural model, what it is going to do now, structural model will test the hypothesis. That means whatever assumption we have made, or whatever hypothesis we have noted. For example, there is no significance relationship between e-word of mouth and buying intention. So that will be checked through structural values. I mean the values that are indicated on the structural part. Right. Okay. At number of times we get confused between what are the outer loads and what are the outer weights. These two options you will be getting on the output window of PLS. So there are number of researchers, they wrongly interpret loads versus weights. Loads are called when we have reflective model. That is why I said the whatever concept I'm going to teach today, they are somewhere connected with the application of PLS. So when you are having a reflective construct, in that case, you can call the standard regression values as outer loads. And when you have a formative model or a formative variable or the construct, in that case, the standard regression values will be known as outer weights. I hope I'm clear till here to everybody. All right. So moving to the next slide. I will just ask a simple question. There are, say, number of models, number of construct you can see here. A very small question to the audience, or which particular element out of A, B, C, D, E, G, E, F, G, which one you find is having outer loadings?
Is it G?
Yes, the answer is right. It is G. So I hope I'm making the points very clear here. So it is important for us to know when to address the regression values as loads and when to address standard values, regression values as the weights. Now, very, very important question of the session today. Always there is a confusion between which one to use, MOS versus PLS. So the session, because it is on PLS, so definitely I'm going to highlight certain benefits of PLS. Of course, there are certain disadvantages also, but there are very less as compared to the advantages PLS offers. So why I have chosen MOS? Because MOS is also very renowned software, and both of them are offering similar kind of features, but it is very important for us to understand what MOS cannot do, and PLS is having an advantage over MOS. So these are the basic differences between MOS and PLS. You can see the model. And I will suggest all the people present here that whenever you are making a model or you will be testing a model on PLS, don't try to mix both the models on the same paper. I will just share a small instance. One of my research scholar, she made a proposed model on MOS and then she applied PLS. Even if you're making a proposed model, try to make it on the PLS software instead of MOS. The panel asked the first question that your proposed model is visibly made on MOS and then you have applied PLS. So have you used both the softwares to test your model? The answer was no. She has only created the proposed model on MOS software because it looks more beautiful on MOS. So don't do this mistake. Sometimes these models, these color combinations, the way they are made, they are the identity of the software. So don't change it. It's a request to everybody. So let us go on how to compare MOS versus PLS. First thing that PLS can even test a small sample size. There are certain instances wherein you have to collect the data from, say, vice president level, all the vice presidents of, or the zonal heads of a private sector bank. In a city, how many zonal heads you will find of a particular bank? Say 30 to 35. But this sample size will not work on MOS. So when you have such kind of niche data, such kind of a small data, you need to go with PLS. Then many a times small sample size will find that the data is not normally distributed, or there are a number of reasons why your data is not normally distributed, whereas normal distribution is a condition in MOS, right? Then coming to the next reason why I always choose PLS over MOS is the MOS is very rigid. It only works with the reflective model. Whereas nowadays there are variables which will have both kind of measures, like the model can have formative construct as well as it can have reflective construct. So it is easier for me to apply PLS when we have both kind of models, right? And I will tell you, personally, I have learned both MOS. I have learned SPSS, then I have learned MOS, and then I have finally learned PLS. I found that the calculation of reliability was manual when in case of MOS, because last when I started learning MOS, there was no any calculator present online. So in PLS, you get an advantage that you don't have to calculate reliability and validity. These are these auto calculated tables that you get. You just have to copy them, and that you have to paste on the Excel sheet on any of your Word file. Then in PLS, you can also work with the demographic variables, categorical variables, and there are number of selection tools that you can use in PLS. Mediation and moderation is one of the most interesting thing that you can apply in PLS. It is easier also. The interpretation is also very easy, and making the model is also very easy in PLS. And then you can make complex models, right? You can have multiple second order models while making a model on PLS. And the last advantage that is offered under PLS is it can run with a single statement also. Whereas in MOS, you need to have at least three statements ideally, or a minimum three statements in a variable. If by chance the standard regression value of two statements are very low and you have to delete the statement in MOS, then you have to delete the entire variable. You cannot keep that one statement left with high standard regression value. Whereas in PLS, you can take that one statement construct also in the model. This is one of the most beautiful advantage that you have in PLS. So it is more user friendly. Concluding what to use, which is better, and what is the basic difference. PLS is more easier, user friendly, and the calculation part you can skip also. The calculations are automatically done. You don't have to take the pain of calculating the values. Okay, so moving on to the interface of the hands-on Smart PLS. This is how the software looks. I will show you. I will take you to the canvas finally now. But before we proceed, we must ensure following things before applying PLS. There is no outlier. Outlier can be checked on SPSS. Then there is a significant standard deviation. Deviation is important. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि every respondent has, a single respondent has given all the responses as 1111 or 5555 or 44. These kind of people, these kind of respondents, I should say, they are the outliers. They are not responding your questionnaire properly. So it's better find them out and remove them. so that the quality of your data improves, right? And then, as I said, now there are a number of calculators, and one such is StatsWiki. I have mentioned the link also on the screen. And the moment you'll click on this link particular, you'll get this kind of screen wherein you can have a stats tool package. So in this tool package, there are a number of advantages you get. You can also calculate reliability, validity from the MOS table, and you can also calculate the missing values. You can also replace the missing values. So this is one very it's a good blessing for all the researchers. And then you can check the basic statistics, that means what is the mean, median, mode, and that can be also done on Smart PLS. Very important thing that we should know before proceeding with the Smart PLS is common method, biasness method. There should not be any biasness, and this is again can be checked on SPSS. I will share a small video on this, maybe with the organizers, so that you can calculate before starting with your actual analysis. You can check that there is no biasness present in the data. All right. So first step is we have to start with creating a CSV of the data. So I'll just switch from this screen to an Excel sheet. Give me a second. I hope everyone understands how to convert one Excel sheet into the CSV file. My slide, this screen is visible to everybody, Excel screen?
From the palm, yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
It's visible, right? So it is very simple. I will just explain you in a second that how I've created this file. These are the statements E1, E2, E3. They are the statements. This is the total, and this is how I have made the entire Excel sheet. Now simply click on the file. It will ask you to save. Wherever you want to save this as CSV instead of Excel. Can you see the screen right now? It is showing CSV delimited. Just select CSV comma delimited, and your file will be saved as a CSV file. I'm not saving it because it will create 2 copies. So I have just shown you how to create a CSV file, because your PLS window will not accept any file other than CSV. Let us just close this. All right. So finally, going to the Smart PLS screen. Yes. Can you see the canvas right now? I hope it is visible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I hope everyone is with me. All right. All right. So here the next step is how to create a model, how to save the data on PLS screen, how to bring your Excel or CSV Excel here. Because I've already saved it, I will be just showing you. Click on, you can just go on file, and you can create a new project here. Just click on the create new project, right? So I will repeat the steps just after 2 minutes. Wait. So you can name this as, say, I'm mentioning at workshop Sneha, right? And click on OK. Right. So here you can see. Now, before I click on anything else, let me just share the various sections present on your screen. Right now, where is my cursor? You can see here, you can save all your projects. I can click on any old project. I can extract the Excel. I can extract the model from here. Whatever I have done even 4 years back is present on this particular section. So these are all my working projects. Some of the projects are already completed. Some are the PhD theses that I'm working on. My scholars are working on. Then this is your actual, this will show you how to bring the data. The right panel that you see here, where the cursor is lying right now, it is the beautification panel. You can change the colors from here, you can change the font size from here, you can change the alignment. Once I will start working practically, I will explain you in a better condition. Right. So here we have created a workshop folder. Now how to bring the data here? Can you see this double click to import? Click on this, double click on import. Now, as I said, PLS will only accept the CSV file. So here is the CSV file that I have already saved. The moment I click on this, it is importing. Okay, it is there. The data is already there on the portal, right? So this is I've created. Now you can see here, as I told, I was talking about the basic statistics. Missing value can be checked from here, mean, median, mode, and then standard deviation, kurtosis, skewness, all these basic statistics you can check from here. Right now, I'm not entering into standard deviation and skewness because it is a different session, right? Let us come to the panel on your left side down corner, right? Here you can see your data, right? This is the same data that I have shown you on the Excel sheet. Now, if I really want to make a model, I have to click on the model here, Workshop Sneha, where I've mentioned. There you can see an icon of model, right? Let us click on the model. The moment you will click on the model, your basic statistics will fly away. That they are not flying anywhere. Again, if you want to see the basic statistics, you can click on this green icon. And again, it will show you the basic statistics. Again, you can click on the model and again, you can see the canvas. Now, this white, all this is your canvas. You can draw your model freely over here. You can increase the size of the canvas based the way you want, right? So I don't need that much big canvas for drawing. Now, let us understand how to bring the data on the model in the model form, right? So here, these are the three statements of, say, social influence. 1, 2, 3. I'm not taking the total. I'm just taking the statements. Total is not required. If you take the total also, the model will consider total as a fourth statement. So try to skip that total. Even you can remove it from the Excel also, right? Very carefully select. It is a drag and drop game. Just drag to the canvas, right? Okay. So I'm just repeating all the steps once again. If you want to create a new project, click on File, create a new project. You can name the project and click on OK, right? The moment you will click on OK, this kind of icon will be created here. And the moment you want, you will click on the double click to bring the data set. It will bring your data set also. I will just show once again. Just make it, just name it PLS workshop. Just I'm making different names so that all the data sets are not getting, mixed up. Just click on OK. You can see here Smart PLS workshop is created here. Double click on import the data. You'll find that this data is already there, CSV file, and click on OK, right? Again, you will get the statistics back and similar step I followed. So right now I'm just deleting this particular. You can delete this also, because why to create two similar projects? So you can delete all this from here, right? Entire folder I'm deleting from you because I don't want. I've already created one, right? So let us click on the model. So I'm just showing you how to drag the statements on the canvas. You can see here, drag them very carefully. Don't leave any statement. The moment you leave any statement, your evaluations of parameters will change. Your reliability will also change. Every entire evaluation of the model will change. So I'm dragging very carefully. I'm not leaving any variable. And another variable with a 5 statement. I hope everything is visible. Right. Now, again, understand how to use this right panel. You can change the color of this default model pattern. But my suggestion is always use the default colors because they are the identity of the software. So don't change them, right? So the moment you will click, this is a select button. Just understand this is a select button. The moment you will click on the construct, it is selected. Now I can align these. I can drag them anywhere. See, this is very difficult when you choose MOS. MOS may it is very difficult to make such kind of beautiful model. Whereas in PLS, it is very simple to drag the model at once. This is one of the most beautiful feature that we see in PLS. Now you can align the model according to your the way you want to turn it, right? And the only thing I do not like about PLS is that whatever is present on these panels, the right panels and the left panels, the same things are present on the upper panel also. So you need not to understand both the things separately. If you will see edit, you will find that the same arrows are there. See, align indicators, right, bottom, left, top. The same function is also provided on the right side panel also. So try to use the panels instead of the upper side panel. I hope my point is clear because everything is just in front of you. So why to open these unwanted windows, right? So you can click on this and you can align it according to your choice, right? Now, next very important thing is you can also change the font size of the variable. If I want to change the font size of the variable, see, you can see the difference. I can make it bold, right? So these are the basic beautification features that we will not be focusing right now much. Now, how to connect these models? I will be teaching you also how to, interpret the results from this, right? Right. So when we go to the edit button here, edit, you can also add any kind of variable, but I'm not adding any variable right now. Only these 4 items are very important in the edit button. So right now, let us not touch anything else. If you want to select the entire model in one go, then you can click on select all. So in one go, you can select all, right? All right. So next, if I want to, connect them, let us connect. One second. Right. So I want to connect these models. Until you connect the model, your evaluation, your calculations will not start. See, understand, I'm trying to connect 2 variables, but I forgot to connect the third variable. My calculations will not start. No variable in this on this canvas should be left unconnected. So the moment I'm going to connect the third variable to the dependent variable, the color of the model will automatically change. Now it is an indication that the model is ready for calculation. Yes, somebody wants to speak something. All right. Now there are certain more features present on your right cursor. If you click on the right cursor, you will see that you can rename the variable. It is very important to rename the variable because you will be copying the same model on your thesis also. So you have to rename here. What is the first variable here? Say it's social. It is social influence, right? I'm not naming it fully. I'm just saving the time, right? And ignore the spelling mistakes also. And then the second variable is say website attributes, right? Oh, sorry, I did not select. You have to select before rename. So this is how you can select and then you can rename, right? All right. I'm just adding it once again. It is creating an artificial variable. Once again. So now you can create. In case you find there is some mistake, you can delete the variable and you can reconnect it. This cannot be done in MOS. This MOS is very rigid. It does not, even if you make a drop by mistake, even if you make a dot by mistake, it will consider that dot as a variable. Okay. So this is how you can connect the model, renaming it. And you can make the beautification part from this panel. I'm not getting into the beautification part right now. All right. Now, please pay attention, everybody. Now we are going to start with how to apply the PLS. The first thing, that is the calculate panel. So give me a minute. I am going to take you to the presentation once again, because you must know what are the various features present in the calculate option. Right. Okay, going to that particular slide, wherein I wanted to show you the options present in calculate. Right, calculate is the first thing that, so all these steps we have followed. We have created the CSV, we have created the new project, we have added the data, we have double clicked on the model, we have checked the basic statistics, we have dragged and dropped each construct, and we have connected them finally. Now it is time to calculate the PLS values. Now there are so many options what to use when. PLS algorithm is also there, consistent PLS algorithm is also there, bootstrapping is there, and consistent bootstrapping is also there. So what to use when? This is also very important part. That is why I told you to understand the various concepts like reflective and formative. Let us see. So this is a picture wherein you can find out that what to use when. PLS algorithm. So when you have only formative models, then you use PLS algorithm, right? And when you have both reflective as well as formative models, then you can use consistent PLS algorithm, right? Then why to use bootstrapping and when to use consistent PLS bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is very simple. It is going to check the hypothesis. It is going to check the relationship between the independent and dependent. Whereas PLS algorithm will help you to identify the reliability and validity statistics, right? In bootstrapping also, we go with the basic bootstrapping, not with the consistent or the complete bootstrapping. Consistent and complete bootstrapping will give you so many options that you will be confused what to use, what to not use. So what I suggest to my scholars, that go with consistent PLS algorithm and go with bootstrapping, that too only the basic bootstrapping. It is suggested. Then you have a blindfold. Blindfold, what it does, it will remove certain data points from the table and then it will run the model. So right now we will not be taking the blindfold. It is the next higher application of PLS. Then what is a confirmatory tetrad analysis? I just told you that how to identify whether the model is reflective or formative. So confirmatory tetrad analysis is a statistical tool. You can even justify in your thesis that we will not we are not taking support from the literature. In case you don't get any support from literature, if there is a sufficient literature, then I will suggest that try to use the literature itself. It will save you time also, and it is more authentic, right? Then you can use IPMA analysis. Now IPMA is a very important tool. On IPMA itself you can write a research paper. Sometimes what happens, all the variables are very significant, all the p values are less than 0.000. Now how to identify which one is more important and which one is more significant? So IPMA analysis will let you know which construct out of say 6 construct or 5 construct is most important and which is more performing. So this is important performance analysis. This is IPMA analysis. PLS prediction of model, maybe we have some unused data on which we can use the PLS predict. So these are the 6 basic options that were present on the calculate window. Now even you have MG multi-group analysis, which will be used for the categorical analysis. Again, we will not be entering into categorical. Let us just understand the basic PLS first, which is more important for us, right? So how to read the result? This we will come back. Let us first apply PLS and then we will come on the result window. All right. Am I clear to everybody right now till here?
Yes,
I hope everyone is with me.
Sorry to
All right.
Ma'am, we have 10 minutes and after that we'll take question and answers.
Sure, ma'am. All right. All right. So let us go back as we are running out of time. I'll just stop sharing this. Yes, coming back to the PLS window. Now calculate, as I said, we will be having, when you have a formative and the mix of reflective both models or only the reflective models. So we can also apply consistent PLS algorithm. Let us see. And simply you have to start with the calculation. And I'm telling you, this is very, very simple. You don't have to put your brain in calculating construct reliability, discriminant, whatever. You just need to know the threshold values of each one. That's it. And in this particular presentation, I have mentioned the threshold value, as well as I have given the references and the citation that you can put in your research paper to support your findings. Right. All right. So this is how you get the output. First, we will click on the construct reliability and validity. Although I can teach you the calculation also part, but as we do not have time, so let us understand Cronbach alpha. You can see here, and you can also copy from Excel format. You can, once you will click on Excel format, then we will be able to copy the entire table on the normal Excel sheet also. Let us not do that right now. So Cronbach alpha, you can see here, it is above 0.7, right? As per the threshold limit, the Cronbach alpha value should be above 0.7. Then composite reliability, which is CR, it should be above again 0.7. Average variance extracted, AVE, this should be above 0.5. So as we can see that all the limits are in the, all the parameters are in the threshold limit, right? And if you want to create some graphs, you can click on the graph also. Like you can get the graphs from here. All green values means all the values are under the, as per the threshold limit. Right. So this is how you can copy. You can copy this chart to the clipboard and directly paste on the wherever you want. Right. Now let us see what are the outer loadings. Now, if the 80% of the outer loadings are correct, yeah, above 0.7, then we consider them, they are good. I mean, you need not to remove any kind. For example, this B15 is 0.665. So it is like 80% of the value should be above 0.7. As we can see, more than 80% values are above 0.7. That means we can take these particular loads and we can calculate further. We can accept, and if the any statement which is having less standard deviation value, even we can delete that from the model. Right now, I'm not deleting anything, right? Then what is VIF? This is a collinearity statistics. 80% of the value should be less than 3. As now you can see here, the values are as per the threshold. More than 80% values are below 3, and those who are above 3 are also not very high. They are just 3.2 or 3.1. So they are acceptable right now. And the R square value, this is the contribution. You can see the contribution of independent on dependent. So this is how you can just interpret R square also. Now, as we can see, all the values are as per the threshold. Now we can apply. And what we are applying right now, we are applying the measurement model. Okay, the model is not visible. This is the model. Right. So now as all the values are as per the threshold limit, I will directly apply. Now I want to check the relationship between website attributes, and then what is the relationship between website attributes and what is the relationship of other latent variables over latent variable 4. I have not named it, so that's okay. But it's better always, it is always suggested to name all the variables, because otherwise it will create a lot of confusion. Social, I'm just writing social influence. Right. This is social media. Social influence and social media influence is different, right? And the last variable is behavioral intention. So I'm just writing BI. All right. So now my measurement model is perfect. I will go with the structural model. Now again, go with the bootstrapping. In this bootstrapping, as I said, always we recommend that try using basic bootstrapping, because we just want to know what is the impact of independent over dependent. So do not get into number of complicated other calculations. Just start calculating. Right. This is the last click of the PLS. Now, it is very important for you to know what to read from this table. Now, when these p values are green, that means all your independent variables are affecting your, influencing significantly to your dependent variables, right? This is your beta value. These are your p values. Because we are not using any mediation moderation, then you will find that the total indirect effect will be zero, because we are not taking any mediating variable. So there is no indirect effect. So we have only the total effects, right? All right. Yes. All right. So just going on. Yes, here. Right. So now I can also last 5 minutes of your PLS from again just check that the left panel has changed. The moment you click on the last model, your last panel will change. You can change the values that you want to show on your model. I want to show only the p values, path coefficient and p values for inner model. And I want to show again the loadings and the p values on my outer model, right? So I have changed the way I want to show my model. I don't want to show any other t value or f value. I am only focusing upon the p values and the loadings. And why these blue circles should remain empty. So I can also, you can also add certain things on this also. You can use the relative values also. Which one, the more darker is the arrow, that means it is more intense. The relationship is more intense in nature, right? This is how you can change the entire model, right? So this is how you can change the particular value that you want to show on the model. So this is how you apply the basic PLS. Now I will take you to the presentation once again. I hope it is visible to everybody. Yeah. Now, why so many calculations are there? That is why I've created a separate PPT wherein you can see what to use from which table. Yes, I missed showing this discriminant validity also. You can also check the discriminant validity from the PLS, wherein you can see the comparison of AVE with the interconstruct correlation. Discriminant validity hota kya hai? That there are two constructs which should be actually different from each other, and when these values are as per threshold, that means actually these two constructs are separate in nature. So that shows that the discriminant validity is good enough. I've talked about the VIF, I've talked about the outer loadings, how to interpret outer loadings. Then I've talked about the R square value, then the model fit. If the R square value is 25%, we consider this as a weak R square. That means the contribution of independent on dependent is really weak. 50% is moderate and 75% is strong. When do we use adjusted R square? When then there are more than two independent variables, then we can see the adjusted R square value. And structural model is only used for reading the hypothesis and hypothesis testing, just to check the total effect. There are two things that you can copy from there: the total effect and the total effect histogram. Histogram is also created, and these are the validities that I've mentioned in the slide. But due to lack of time, it's a separate session. Validity and reliability itself is a big topic. But I've mentioned here that Thornbit alpha is commonly cited by Ninelli 1978. Content validity means literature and experts should support all your statements. Construct content validity के बाद है construct validity. Construct validity is a combination of standard regression weight जो हमारे 0.5 से ऊपर या 0.7 से ऊपर होना चाहिए, plus AVE which should be above 0.5 and composite reliability which should be above 0.7. if these three criterions are as per threshold, then we say the model has got the construct validity. Discriminant I've already talked about. The AVE value should be greater than the squared interconstruct correlation, which is supported by Fronel and Racker criterion. And the nomological validity, all of you know, when you support your findings with some citations, those who have supported your findings and those who have not supported your findings, that becomes your nomological validity, right? These are the calculations. So I'm skipping the calculation because we are using PLS only to skip this calculation. But any which ways, if you want to learn this calculation, you can use this formula, which I mentioned on the screen. This is how you can also calculate your construct composite reliability and AVE. I mentioned that on the screen. And these are the references that you can use while supporting your findings. So that's all from my side. It was a small overview session on PLS. I hope you must have understood something out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. And like you have explained in such a way that a person who's layman or do not know anything about PLS would be able to use PLS right now. So, ma'am, there are a few queries in the chat box. One is like, ma'am, can you please explain how we deal with the error term in PLS as it comes by default in MOS with every item?
See, this is what is the beauty. You don't have to deal with error term. It is by default. You have to apply error term on MOS, whereas in PLS, you don't have to apply any error term. It is by default inbuilt in the model. So you forget about error term. It is taken care by the model itself.
Okay. Divya Tiwari, I hope you are clear with your doubt. Okay. Any other question, anyone? The floor is open for the question and answer session. Anyone?
Hello.
Yes, Veenu Madani. Yes, please.
Good evening, ma'am. My question is that, ma'am, in one slide you mentioned that you have to remove the outlier through SPSS. Is it necessary to do the analysis of an outlier in SPSS firstly?
Yes, ma'am, it is important because outlier can disturb the quality of your data.
Okay,
Why
firstly
should we why should we include anybody who is not serious about responding the data? And that can be also removed from the stats wiki also. Stats wiki is also another tool which you can use. It is very easier. You can just yes.
Okay, one question, ma'am. For example, I collected the data from 4 states, like Haryana, Punjab, and other two or other states, and we have to do the analysis in PLSM one by one, taking the data of one sheet on Excel, like one state, and taking the data on the Excel sheet on other state.
No, madam, I mentioned one important tool, that is MG, multi-group analysis. It is just like any other categorical variable. A Smart PLS, when you're applying for to check the scale validity and reliability. Then structuring you're doing because to check the relationship of independent and dependent. MGA is important. What you're talking, when you have male, female, when you have 3 income groups, when you have 3 cities or 4 cities, then you can go with the multi-group analysis.
The 3 cities or 4 cities multi-group analysis.
Yes, multi-group is it is one of the most beautiful feature of PLS. You can incorporate any kind of categorical variable in the PLS.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So, ma'am, there are a few people who are asking for your contact, how they can connect to you. So, Dr. Firdaus, can you please just drop the email and on the WhatsApp group or whatever?
We will be sharing the details, but I will suggest all the participants just search on LinkedIn. So you will get every each and every person there. I have tagged them all on our this page, LinkedIn page, Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association. They can visit and they will get each and every resource person details there. They are well tagged in every post, and manually they can also. We are also going to share the recordings and all after the session. So for connecting, they can reach professionally to LinkedIn, and thereby they can get all details.
Okay. And thank you so much, ma'am. It was actually, people are appreciating your session. There are like multiple messages on the chat box saying that it was an informative session, an excellent session. So that
Okay.
means that all over those who attended actually got some output from your session. So thank you so much once again. And we would love to collaborate with you in future also.
Sure, ma'am.
Over to you for those.
Okay, now I would like to call Wes.
Thank you, Professor Rajput. On behalf of Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for this session. Your expertise and insights were incredibly valuable, we can say, and we were appreciative of your willingness to accept our invitation for this session. Thank you once again, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge with us. We are highly thankful to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much
We are
for
very
calling me.
thankful to Dr. Garima Singh for moderating the session very effectively. Thank you. Thank you also,
Thank
ma'am,
you,
to
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Now we are